ban on live cattle exports to Indonesia may have been lifted, but the controversy remains. Neither side appears happy with the Agriculture Minister's solution. The cattle industry is still counting the cost of the month-long suspension and the fact that shipments of cattle will take several weeks to resume. At the other end, animal welfare activists are demanding mandatory stunning of all cattle shipped from Australia, with the backing of some Labor backbenchers. Hayden Cooper reports.
After a month of paralysing uncertainty, slowly an industry is shifting back into gear, and the cattle men and women of the north can see a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's only a flicker.
Clearly, while a positive step, today things are exactly the same as they were yesterday and they were the day before that. The trade doesn't start immediately. The plug was jerked out of the wall a number of weeks ago. It's not a matter of just sticking the plug back in the wall and flicking the switch.
Joe Ludwig's solution is a step up in monitoring and auditing of Australian cattle heading to Indonesia for slaughter. But it's not an instant resumption of the trade. Exporters will have to apply for a licence and have their abattoirs audited. All of that takes time.
We've got to be careful about this collective sigh of relief, and I think a lot of people are saying, well, thank God we're through it, it's fixed, we can worry about something else now. Clearly, as producers and producers across Northern Australia and the businesses that sit around it, this is not over. It's simply the start of a long road to recovery.
This was the response from the other end of this divisive debate.
Flat on your hands, Julia Gillard!
At the Prime Minister's electorate office in Melbourne, protesters demanded a much stronger line. The activists who exposed the animal cruelty in the first place are less than satisfied.
Our real concern about the announcement that the Minister's made is it really hasn't changed anything for Australian cattle. Cattle can still go to Indonesia, they can be still killed while fully conscious, and effectively we could still have, under the arrangements that are in place, a traditional roping slaughter, so animals falling violently onto their side and being slaughtered in a terrible way. Nothing's going to stop that until we have stunning as a mandatory requirement.
In other words, very little has changed, and the Minister can't guarantee that animal cruelty abroad will cease.
The question around a guarantee is quite silly if you think about it, because in Australia we process 8 million head of cattle a year. We process in Indonesia about 500,000. There will always be a slip, something happens, but what we've now put in place is a robust system to make sure that if there is a slip, if there is a problem, then the robust system can address it.
The Agriculture Minister finds himself in a place where he's pleased virtually no one. Activists will keep on campaigning for an end to the trade, and graziers will take a long time to forgive the government. Do you have confidence in Joe Ludwig, the Agriculture Minister?
I think he's obviously had a difficult task and he's fairly new to his portfolio, and I think we certainly know that there's other ministers in the government who have had past experience in this area who also understand the issues here.
Would they be better in the role than he would be?
Oh, look, I think it's been a difficult task. You have to accept that. He's been new to his portfolio.
What I want to do is put this industry on a strong footing for the longer term.
But do you concede that you've, in the process, lost the confidence of the beef industry? And without the confidence of a fairly crucial sector, can you carry on in the job as Agriculture Minister?
What I've done is provided a long-term live animal export industry. That's the important thing that we need to focus on. In taking this action, I've ensured that this industry, which I support, will continue into the future.
You have no regrets about the way you did it initially, the total ban that was applied?
I did the right thing.
Then there's this group of caucus agitators, Labor MPs who say no stun, no deal. They want to force the government to place extra demands on Indonesian abattoirs.
What we're saying is that we have serious concerns about the resumption of the trade. The questions of stunning and the questions of monitoring will need to be addressed so that people can be assured that we get the proper, humane animal welfare outcomes.
Look, the caucus is always one of those areas where I'm confident to go in there and state my case, because in stating my case, I know it's the right case to put.
Hayden Cooper reporting.